Hey everybody, I hope you're doing great. This is my radio voice, and I hope you guys are having a great evening with someone that you love. But today on the channel, we're going to talk about how to buy a small parcel of land. So I've covered this before, but sometimes we just need to reiterate things because a lot of people are, for whatever reason, drawn to this notion of, I want to buy 5 acres. What are you doing with it? And I just think 9 times out of 10, it's a horrible idea. There's just no point. But for some reason, people are drawn to this thing. So let's talk about it. If you are buying significant chunks of land that are, let's just say, like, I don't know, $250,000 or more, what do you get for that amount of money? Completely depends on what part of the country you're in. In like the middle of Oklahoma or some shit, probably do pretty good with that. But in the Rocky Mountains, I don't know, quarter acre, like you don't get that much. Okay, so let's talk about small parcels of land. And by small parcels, I'm going to say $100,000 or less. I'm going to say your land budget is $100,000 or less. Here is the answer for how you go about it. You're on your own. Okay, I would not recommend trying to enlist the services of an agent to rep you as a buyer in that deal. Okay, I would recommend working directly with the listing agent to get the deal done. But let me present you with option A, option B, or 1 and 2. So option A would be the following. This would be the recommended one. You handle the search for properties that you're interested in. That means the internet. You comb through the internet on a regular basis and you just see what land's for sale in the area that I'm looking in within the budget that I'm interested in spending. It's also, chances are, going to be a scenario where you need to pay cash for that land. Not a whole lot of banks are interested in financing recreational land for you to go four-wheeling on. There's nothing to do, like, there's nothing in it for them. Like, why? No. So I would recommend you handle searching for the properties on your own. Go look at the properties on your own. When you see something that you say, yeah, that's the one, or even I think that might be the one, somewhere on a sign or on the internet, someone's name is attached to that listing. That would be the listing agent. Call that person. Right? Because we're talking a $50,000 piece of land here. Call them up and just be like, hey, I'm an unrepresented buyer, right? And I'm interested in the piece of land that you have. Would you be interested or able to help me as well as the seller, right? Just to bring the deal together. Most listing agents would probably say, I'd love to, if for no other reason, because the deal's so small, at least they can throw in a little bit of the buyer side and like at least they got a couple extra bucks that they can make. But that's what I would do. Not to mention the questions that you would ask me, right? Your buyer's agent, for example, like, oh, what's with the water rights? And, you know, is there a well? Like, can you shoot on that property? Like, how does all that stuff work? It's like, look, the person with those answers is either the listing agent or the actual people that own it. So going to me, to have to go to their agent, who has to go to the buyer or the sellers, that goes back to the listing agent, goes back to me, goes back to you, it's just a waste of time, right? It would just be more efficient for you to ask the listing agent, hey, do you know if I'm allowed to shoot or camp or build a fire or whatever on that property? It's just a more direct line of communication, right? Now, so option A, find the land that you want, call the person who's on the sign, say, I'd like to buy that land. Can you help put the deal together? Option B would be the following. You have an agent, but you engage them on a very limited basis. So you have me, right? You call me and I'm going to be your buyer's agent on this, $70,000 land deal. Okay, cool. So you tell me the exact area that you're looking in, the budget. I'm going to plug it in. You are on a daily basis going to get sent any land listings. Don't call me and ask me a bunch of questions. Don't ask me to go look at the land with you. I'm not going to do it, okay? Especially because it's probably 2 hours from my house. No, when you see something you like, you go look at it on your own. And when you see something that like, hey, that's the one, then you call me and you're like, Jake, I found the land that I want. Let's put together the contract. Cool, no problem, Bob. I'm going to type up the contract. You're going to sign it. I'll send it to the listing agent. And that's pretty much it. There's not really inspections to do. It's land. What do you want to do? Unless you're trying to do soil tests and things like that for some weird reason. But beyond that, it's like, hey, That's how it works. I'm going to set you up on a search. You go look into land on your own. When you find something you like, you call me. I'm going to write the contract for you, and I'm going to get it to the closing table. I'm going to very limited engagement, because the truth is this, guys, and it's the ugly truth that no one really likes, which is on a $60,000. Let's take a $60,000 land deal. Let's say I get paid 3% on that. $1,800. Is that right? I think $1,800. Okay. So I got to pay my brokerage $500. Cool. Okay, so now we're down to $1,300. Okay, I got to pay my transaction coordinator $300. Okay, now we're down to $1,000. I'd like to get you at least some sort of a thank you gift at the end of it, although frankly I don't have the budget to do it, so I'm going to say 0 on that. So best case scenario, I made $1,000 on that. How much do you really expect me to hustle for $1,000? By the way, that's pre-tax dollars. If we take out tax, $600. You see what I'm saying, guys? Like, how much was my gas? Fuck, that was 2 hours. I had to do at least one trip there with you to make sure that it looked good. Okay, it was $100 in gas. Now we're down to $500. Like, you see what I'm saying, guys? Like, when I say land deals are a waste of time and money for us, I mean it quite literally. I make $500 by just sitting here and like going to a garage sale and trying to like resell some baseball card or some shit. You know, like I need to drive all over the state to make $500. I feel like Debbie Downer today, everyone. I apologize for that, but that's the reality. You don't need to engage a lot of real estate agents on land deals, just for the necessities, okay? So let's wrap it up. If you guys need real estate help, aside from this kind of real estate help that was just discussed, let us know. Happy to help. You guys take care. We'll see you next time.